Aashna, $12 billion out of how much was proposed?
Yeah, so we had about $16 billion on the ballots this year, and that is a smaller amount compared to last year during the presidential election. We had about $80 billion then, but it's an off-cycle election year, so it's pretty normal.
So what were some of the more notable proposals on the ballots?
So there was an interesting one coming out of Denver, Colorado. We had a $950 million bond package there. And so that did get approved by voters. And so the city will use those funds to, do different infrastructure projects, fix gardens, add new cultural centers. And I was actually talking with the mayor of Denver earlier this week, and he was saying that this vote was especially important as federal funding falls and, there's economic uncertainty. This way, with the funding, Denver can carry out any sort of critical infrastructure needs that they have.
So how does this fit into the overall picture for muni markets right now? I know this is a market that's driven by seasonal factors, and the elections are kind of a once every year event that can disrupt a lot of that.
Well, it's interesting because this year we've seen a ton of supply. We've had heavy supply weeks, and we've had municipalities, airports, transportation agencies, all tapping the bond markets for huge deals. And so we're hitting towards a record supply year, and supply is up almost 13% from this same time period before. So we're seeing that there's a huge need for infrastructure investment right now across the country.
As you look ahead to what you'll be covering for the rest of the year, what are some themes that jump out at you in the muni market?
Well, it's going to be really interesting to cover, the different airports and transit agencies. Airports is my beat. And so seeing how they continue carrying out these infrastructure investments, seeing how schools, different transit agencies, hospital systems, they carry out these projects and use these bonds.
Are these kinds of proposals usually approved by voters?
Yeah, they are pretty much approved, but this time it was interesting. I was talking to an analyst, and he was saying that the macroeconomic changes, financial uncertainty might be top of mind for these voters, and so he was a little bit hesitant, but so it was surprising to see $12 billion get approved.